So yeah, everything pivots. Technology changes, life changes. It is what it is. But am I going to stop doing it because a machine comes around? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. And it's not going to stop him.
So make
Yo. All right, what's going on, people? I got another video that was suggested to me. I think about maybe 4 or 5 of you guys that suggested this video. But I've been following this guy for a minute now. He's actually a person who is extremely credible in the art community in general. He's a very, very OG, old school type of person. The Disney animator that I suggested to you guys before. He did a video called, to where like he actually reacted to Corridor Crew's video too as well. But he did another video, a follow-up, because I've been doing back and forth battles with a bunch of people in the comments about why it's not going to take your job, and people are still not convinced. So I thought you guys might want to hear a person with a little bit more experience talking about this as well. So I want to see what he what he got to say about this too, to see if I completely agree, which I already know I'm going to agree anyway. But you never know. Probably got different takes on why it's not going to take your job, why I believe it's not going to take your job, and why his version is why they're not going to take your job. So we're going to check this out and we're going to see. I'm very, very interested in this guy. I've been following for a minute though, so let's see what the Disney animator got.
Let me tell you why I think AI won't be taking my job anytime soon.
Let's hear it.
Hey everybody, Aaron Blaze here, and let me start by setting up a little story for you. Imagine the Arctic. It's cold, windy, empty, and wandering this landscape is a polar bear.
And he animated this too.
He's wandering the Arctic looking for a friend. He comes across various animals like a fox, and he's happy and he wants to make friends so badly, but no one wants to be friends with him.
Hold up a second, guys. I have to appreciate this. I have to. Me being an artist myself, I gotta appreciate this. And I'm pretty sure he won't have a problem with me doing this. Matter of fact, I think he will love the fact that I'm pausing this. But if you guys got a problem with me pausing, you can kick fucking rocks. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm not gonna be a dude who's just gonna sit here and just look at shit, especially when it's a part of my field. I'm gonna talk about it. So, this is something I love.
He's wandering the Arctic looking for a friend.
This guy's so damn good.
Various animals.
Look at that. You seen the cast shadow go above? It's little things like that to let you know that he's coming in the frame to be visible to him.
Looking for a friend.
It's like
comes across various
the reveal,
like a fox, and he's happy.
It's the little
he wants
details.
to make friends so badly, but no one wants to be friends with him. And at his lowest point, he decides, well, if I can't find a friend, then I'll make a friend, literally. And he starts gathering up snow, and he puts together a snow bear. And out of this, he finds all kinds of joy, and they have fun together. And our polar bear has found his friend. So, the story I just pitched to you is the new short that I'm creating called Snow Bear. And the reason I pitched it to you is I wanted you to feel the emotions that I'm going to be trying to get onto the screen through this character. And that's the key to everything that I'm talking about today. It's getting the emotion, getting the wants and needs and joys and everything else into the character. And that's something that's uniquely human.
Right.
And it takes a human in order to do it. Whether you're doing stop motion, CG, or hand-drawn animation, it's our job as character animators to impart life into our characters.
God, I respect this dude so much, man. It's like I'm back at school listening to a teacher, who I respect. 'Cause there's a lot of teachers I went to school with to where I don't respect, because there's a lot of egos in my field, especially going into college and stuff like that. I've dealt with nothing but egotistical teachers. Don't make you feel welcome. They don't make you feel like you're doing it the right way. They don't care about your style. They don't care about any of that type of stuff. It's not warming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can just tell when you listen to somebody who genuinely cares about the field and they just love creativity. I completely get that from this guy. That's why I've been following for a while.
The way to get life into them is to give them wants and needs and joys and emotions. The art of animation is not just moving something on the screen. And I think that's something that people are forgetting. Good character animation is bringing that character to life.
Yep.
It's giving them hopes and joys and everything else, so that when the viewer is watching that character on the screen, they're forgetting that they're looking at a puppet.
Absolutely.
They're forgetting that they're looking at a drawing. They're invested. They're feeling the emotion. They're empathizing. And that's what good storytelling and good character animation does for the viewer. And it's also why I don't think AI is going to be coming along and taking my job as an animator anytime soon, because it is so distinctly human.
So perfect. So perfect what he just said. And that's the reason why I've been trying to get at you guys for a while. See, people who the reason why this is even a big conversation to begin with when it comes to AI taking over 2D animators' jobs and stuff like that is because there's a whole lot of people who are inexperienced in this field. Who, I mean, not being inexperienced, there's a lot of people with no experience talking about this topic, and that's the only reason why it's blowing up the way it is. Because if you got people like me, him, and some other animators that I know within my circle who's been doing this shit for a long time, we know what goes into this type of stuff. Creating characters, I created thousands of characters over the years. I created characters for people, I created characters for myself, and they would give me explanations on how these characters are supposed to look. And there's something that AI just can't do because it's too procedural. And when it comes to me, I'm very customizable. You can tell me that a character is a droopy type of character. They have no mood. They're like sad, depressed, lonely, or whatever, stuff like that. It's easy to convey that for me when I put it in, and I can over exaggerate it depending on what the person wants, or I can do a subtle type of expression. But only I can do that, and only I can dictate that, and only the person who wants the character done that way can dictate it too. But the fact of the matter is they're able to go back and forth with me. I've done this a lot of times with people with contracts. When it comes to bringing a character to life, like what he said, it's something very human about that a machine will never be able to do. We're not worried about that. We're not at all. It's not something I even think would even replace us even maybe 10, 15 years down the line, or even 20 years, or ever. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird to me how people are interested in this topic so much. And that's probably because you guys don't know what goes on up here with us. So maybe you're trying to, you got people trying to protect us. You got people trying to, be invested into it or interested. And they want to know how we feel about certain things. And we're like, bro, I know what goes into this. And I know what makes this shit special. So I already know this can't be replicated by a machine. It's impossible. But you will only know that if you're one of me. And he definitely knows.
To get those emotions and get those experiences onto the screen. Now, I want to be clear, over the last 35 years since I've been doing animation, technology has advanced, obviously. Yes. And it's changed the way that I make animated films. I'm still sitting there and drawing, but the process has become streamlined, and it's pretty cool. Let me show you how I do it now. Oh, also, go on over to my website, creatureartteacher.com. I've had 35 years in the industry, and I started this website because I want to impart all of the things that I've learned. I've got over 600 hours of art and animation content over there. And also, if you become a member, you can join me every Tuesday and Thursday as I live stream the making of Snow Bear. So go on over to creatureartteacher.com, become a member, have access to over 600 hours of content, and you can also watch me make this short. Now let's get into this.
I think that's extremely good for people who are just starting to get into animation. You should really check this out. This guy's, he clearly knows what he's doing. His animation is beautiful, it's perfect. He's a Disney animator. He just got Disney written all over his style. So if you guys want to know the beginning of animation, and if you're just getting started in the field, I suggest you do this.
This is a shot where the polar bear just dove into the water. It's a very short shot, but I want to show you all the evolution that it goes through in order to get us to the finished shot. Well, we've talked about the writing, and there's a section where we write that he has to dive in. Well, I've drawn it, and these are the storyboards. So I'm going to go ahead and let this play of him coming in and coming towards camera. So he's dove in, and he comes towards camera. Well, from there, I need to start envisioning that animation. Once again, going back to hand-drawn, this is the human touch. This is, the choices that I make doing this is something that only I would do. And this is one of the reasons why I don't want to use AI in this process, because, the choice of moving the arm one way or the other, to give them an expression one way or the other. These are humanistic approaches that I don't want to let go of. So I take those storyboards as my inspiration, and then I go in and I scribble down the rough animation. And here's what I ended up with.
God, you can tell he's been doing this for years.
So I knew that I wanted him kind of paddling.
Right.
I did a lot of research looking at polar bears swimming underwater just for this section. And
that's how we do.
I wanted it to feel authentic. I wanted you to feel the resistance of that water. I wanted to feel the fur floating up. All these things that, as a human drawing, I can think of them and just get it down. In order to get AI or CG to do this, there's a lot of parameters that you have to think about.
Yes.
But one of the beauties of hand-drawn animation is whatever you can think of, you can draw and you can get it down.
And you know what's funny? It's actually quicker and faster for us to do this too as well, because that's why for people like me, I would never be good at 3D. I respect the field. I would never be good at I don't think I would ever be good at AI to the point to where I'll be able to create a masterpiece out of it. I'll be able to assist it, but I would never be able to use AI like how a person who's invested in AI would be able to use it. They'll be able to create a masterpiece. I wouldn't, because I'm not good at wrapping my brain around numbers, systems, making sure the logic adds up to create a coherent piece, putting in prompts, putting in explanations on what something's supposed to look at. I am very simple as a person. If I see something and I'm like, okay, I like how that looks, I'm just gonna draw it. I don't have to punch in a number. There's people who use Photoshop and who use Procreate who pick their colors by numbers. They don't do it visually. I do everything visually. I don't do anything by systems. I basically use Photoshop and Procreate to the bare minimum of what the software is capable of doing, because I'm still a traditionalist, but I use these tools because it's faster for me to do it. So I use the tools that I need to use. I don't have to put in exact numbers on what the colors are supposed to be. That's not me as a person. But I know people who do draw like that, who literally got sheets of exact colors. Okay, this color is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put that in. They get the exact color. I'm an eyeballer. I just eyeball it. I'll be like, okay, I think that's close, so I'm going to use that and take it. That's how I operate. I do not punch in numbers. And like what he said, it's a very human touch when it comes to, okay, the fur goes up when his hand comes down, so the fur pulls up like that. For a 3D artist to do that, they will have to animate it in a system to where the logic makes sense. For us, we just do it. We just draw it. And that's why I love this field, and I love traditional animation, because it's so flexible and it's quick. What you see, you can do. But I do respect the people who work like that, because we're just in different fields. That's all it is. It still takes talent and skill to do that. I won't be able to do it. Trust me, I've tried. So I do understand how much skill it is to do 3D and AI and that type of shit. It is not easy.
So that's what we have here. He's coming in, and you can see, even in the scribble pass that I've done,
Yep.
You can see the fur kind of reacting to the water, the way he's floating around. All of that is just done with a few scribbles. Once that's done, and we like it, then it's time to start refining it, okay? Mm-hmm. I want to get more drawings in between to smooth out the action. I want the drawings themselves to be more refined. Okay, so now what I've done is I've gone over the rough animation.
Yeah, he loves what he does.
And added the in-between drawings, and here's what I've ended up with. So now
Very
you can see
smooth.
I've got something much more refined,
Yep.
much smoother in the way that it's moving. You can see that fur now really reacting to the water. So now that we've got this, we still got to get color in there. We've got to get some...
You guys don't even understand the level of talent that you're looking at right now. Most people don't even realize how hard it is to even do this. To do the simple swim animation, to get the fur to move like that.
It's moving. You can see that fur now really reacting to the water.
You guys have no fucking clue how difficult this is. Most people don't even realize it though. You look at it, you just be like, oh, it looks simple. You know, like you just got, just simple lines and shit like that. You got the fur going up. And this just oozes experience. You can just tell that he's experienced. He's been doing this for a long time, and it just shows.
So now that we've got this, we still got to get color in there. We've got to get some effects. So let me show you how in TV Paint I can then go in and color my animation. So what I've created, I've got my timeline and I've got my animation on the timeline. Mm-hmm. I've created another layer, a color and texture layer underneath that.
This is how I do it.
So the line work is going to stay on top, and I'm going to put color behind the line work.
Yep.
I've already chosen the color I want. Yes, a polar bear is white, but when they're underwater, because of the blue light coming through and everything else, we're going to get more of a kind of a turquoise tint to his fur.
Yep.
I've already picked that out. Now all I need to do is go through and run my line. As you notice, as I'm drawing, it's creating a line, and I'm running it through everything that I want colored. Everything I want colored, I'm running the line through. Now when I lift my pen, boom, look at that. Do you realize how much time that saves?
I do it differently, but still, that's fast.
Just imagine, once again, going back to the original, back in the old days, you would have to ink everything onto a cell, and then you'd have to flip it over and paint with a paintbrush every cell. You know, when you watch Snow White, when you watch Bambi, when you watch Pinocchio, this is how all those films were made.
Jesus
now you'll
Christ.
notice here on part of the snout, it missed a spot. Well, all I have to do is go in and boop, touch it,
Done
and
deal.
it fills it in. Now, if I want to get rid of that line, all I have to do is come over here and there's a little button right there. I turn that off, and now I've got a painted character. Now, obviously, he's not just one color. So I can go in and say, okay, I want to darken
Do
just
the
a little
nose.
bit. And I want to go in and just color in the muzzle. Well, now I'm going in, I'm just drawing where the muzzle is, and I've filled it in.
Yep.
Now I want to go in and say, okay, I want the nose
I wonder how much you're gonna do.
yet another color. So I come in and trace around just inside the nose. Boom. And I fill in the little gaps right there, and I just keep touching it until it's filled in the way I like it. Now let's say I want the front of the nose to be even.
What program he said he was using again?
Come in, and I do the same thing. There. Now I want the white of the eyes. So here I'll just come up, push that a little lighter, come in, and now I've filled in the eyes. Now,
So I do
in
mine a little bit
seconds,
differently, but
literally
that's
seconds,
'cause the
we haven't
you
even
know,
done
program.
a minute. I've been able to fill this in, color it the way I like it, and I've got a great image.
Yeah,
Now, I
it's a
might
good
want to
start.
do some lighting effects. Now, I can either animate lighting effects on here, which I've got some examples of that.
Okay.
Or, in this case, I want something that's a little softer, a little broader, and I can let the software do it for me. This is where technology comes in, and I've really embraced it because it's made my job easier.
Thank you.
So now, let's say I want to add a little bit of a lighting effect on here. Well, I can use the technology to do that. I can go up to Effects, and they have a section here called Tune Shading. Well, I can come in here and add some highlights. Look at that. We got a night. I can pull back on it a little bit, so it's not so harsh. Now I've got a little bit of a highlight,
A little bit of a
along
cast
the top
shadow, yeah.
edge, you know, from the light coming down, and that will go on every frame that I create. And so if I do
Wow.
this on every shot or every frame, every drawing, this is what we end up with.
I made my job way harder because what I did for my project, and this is me not using the technology because like I use technology, but I don't use it too much. I don't use it to my advantage too much. I basically animate the traditional way on a digital platform, which is stupid. I do each and every single one of these frames by hand. That's what I do. I'm crazy. I'm stupid. I don't know why I do it. I need to figure out what program that he's using because this is way easier. I also like my stuff to look a certain way too. This fits his style. This fits the Disney style. It's very simplistic. It's very, low detail, which is cool. They're flat colors and everything like that. There's not much shadow, hard shadows going on and stuff like that. But because I'm an anime artist, ours look a little different because there's like cell shading involved too. So I have to make sure that each and every single one of that is consistent on each frame. And I like this technique, but I wonder if I can draw anime in an anime style with this technique, keeping it consistent each frame. I don't know. I gotta do more research.
Now I've got a little bit of lighting. I've added a little bit of light to his back. I've actually added a little bit of shadow underneath. And we've got a painted character. But that's not the end. Now I can take this and I can create some further lighting effects in my editing software.
Mm-hmm.
So by adding a few light rays and having them cross dissolve and overlaying them over the
Smart, that's what I
animation
do,
just
yep.
created, I end up with an effect that looks like this.
Nice.
Here it is. So that shot went by in just a couple of seconds. And you can see all the work that goes into it. But
Yep.
once again, I want to reiterate, the reason why we put so much work into this is the fact that it's done by hand. It's a piece of art. It's moving paintings as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
And this is a reason why I'll never let that go. I love the process.
See, all these people talking about how they're looking out for us, how they trying to, how they're trying to fight for the animators and shit like this. You guys don't understand. For somebody to go through, you saw this 2-second shot that he just did. There was over, let me look at this timeline. Look at this fucking timeline. Look at this. You guys don't realize this probably took him maybe, depending on how he works. Me personally, I can only work for maybe 6 hours and then I'll get lost in it. I might go over, but like 6 hours of just working on one project a day. This probably had to take, not including the tuning that he had to do too. Because just to do this probably took maybe 2 days to tune it and to fine tune it to make sure everything was perfect. Because I know he went back and he like, no, I kind of like this better. I kind of like this. Nope, I don't like how that light's coming through. That's too strong. So he probably this probably took him maybe 4 days to do for a 2-second shot. 2-second shot. That's my perception about it. You only can do this. Love what you do. What we do is different. This shit down here, you guys don't understand. You really don't. Y'all really don't understand. When I say that I could care less about being paid a penny for doing what I do, I really mean it. If you ask him the same thing, he'll say the same shit. This dude is still doing personal projects behind the scenes, and he's just releasing it. This is shit that we love to do. AI is not going to stop us. It's going to actually enhance us. But even if it does, quote unquote, take over the field, like you guys keep on telling me, I keep getting comments all the time being like, yeah, we'll see, you're talking boldly and shit. No, I know what I'm talking about. Even if it does take over my job, quote unquote, I will still do exactly what I'm doing right now. Nothing will change. And there will still be a bunch of people who appreciate it, and they'll watch it, consume it, what have you. And for the rest of the industry, I don't care if they move past me, because I love doing what I do. That's all that matters to us.
And you can see all the work that goes into it. But once again, I want to reiterate, the reason why we put so much work into this is the fact that it's done by hand. It's a piece of art. It's moving paintings as far as I'm concerned. And this is a reason why I'll never let that go. I love the process. 20 years ago, people were really up in arms of, from the 2D world, 2D animation world, that it was going to go away, or it was going away, because of the advent of 3D animation coming in and taking things over.
Absolutely.
I'm a big proponent, obviously, of 2D animation, and my answer to all of that is it's only going to go away if we let it go away.
Thank you.
Now, the argument is, yes, it did go away in the big studios. Making big feature-length, high-budget 2D animated films, it went away. It went away at Disney. It went away at DreamWorks. But the environment changes. The world changes. We have more platforms now than we've ever had in the past in order to get work out there. There's 2D animation being made all over the place. Cartoon Saloon making Wolfwalkers, Song of the Sea, Secret of the Kells. These are beautiful Oscar-nominated films that are being made now. Right now. 2D.
Pay attention.
So it only dies if we let it die. Being up in arms about technology and wasting all of your energy to stop it is wasted energy as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you.
You can't stop the technology. And you can't stop me from making 2D animated films.
Look at this shit. Is he saying anything that I haven't said before? This is what it's all about for us. This is common sense to me. I really don't have no disputes. I already knew I wasn't going to have no difference of opinion. I already knew he was going to say exactly what I was going to say verbatim, because we're from the same ilk. He loves his field just like how I love my field. So when you genuinely love what you do, there's nothing that we're going to disagree with. I would love to have a conversation with him, like about this type of shit too, because we would literally just be saying the same shit over and over again. Because like addressing this is basically redundant to us now, because it's like we know what this is. I've been doing this for too long, and I actually love it. I don't do it for a profit. So yeah, everything pivots. Technology changes, life changes. It is what it is. But am I going to stop doing it because a machine comes around? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. And it's not going to stop him.
So make the art that you want to make.
Thank you.
Don't give in to the fear. Make the art you want to make.
Absolutely.
Put some beauty back into the world, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.
But there you guys go. He said, to me, it was nothing but common sense to me. I already knew that this guy was going to have the same opinion as me too, because he loves doing what he does. And any other artist in the field that shared the same opinion, even with the Corridor Crew guys, they brought the 2 Disney people who were on there before. And you know what was getting on my nerves? People had the audacity to say that people paid them to say what they said on that show. You can't pay me, and you can't pay us doing what we do to say something that we disagree with about our own field. It's not happening. I don't care if somebody paid me $1 million to disagree with this AI shit or to spin a different narrative or whatever stuff like that. I would never do it, because it's just not true to me. I don't live that way. This is my life, and this is how I'm going to live probably for the rest of my life. I'm going to be creating until I die. Probably. This is just who I am. A lot of you guys don't understand that. So I hope this video shed a little bit of light on how we actually think from an experienced veteran. I'd rather for you guys to hear from them. I'm a little bit younger. No, I'm a lot bit younger. Coming from me, it might not be as concrete, but from him, you gotta respect it. He's been in the game longer than I have. I respect them. I really, really respect them. I respect the hustle. I respect the two Disney executives. I mean, the two Disney animators that actually went on Corridor Crew. I have none but respect, and I look up to these dudes, and I always will learn something from them because they're full of wisdom. Take notes and stop bitching.